Right, I've got the face of that billet, for want of a better word, cleaned up, and I've cleaned up that edge to be at 90 degrees to the face, just so that when I saw it out it should saw out nicely. And if I position our good limb on there, it's not an exact match, but it's got a slight hint of reflex, same as this one. And trying to position this in the best place, left to right. There's no way to totally avoid this undulation, but hopefully it won't be a problem. It's always going to end up mid-limb. So I'll saw that out now. Right, that's it sawn out. And I'm delighted because that ripple is virtually non-existent. This little knot there, and that can fall off the edge because I've got a bit of extra width to play with. I've left it full length for now, so it's coming on quite nicely. So the next thing is to make up some sort of former that I can bend it and heat treat it on. Of course, the big question is, what shape do I make the limbs? Now, in the book about Harry Drake and flight shooting, he says that small changes can make a big difference. So I don't want to go and do anything too radical. I know these limbs gave me a fairly good result, well, a very good result. I almost made the quarter mile. I got over 400 yards. So what I'll do is I'll take the more extreme one that's got a bit more reflex deflex, and my own theory is that if you line up the tip of the bow and the centre of the bow, the amount of deflex and the amount of reflex should end up cancelling each other out, because obviously with a fiberglass or carbon fibre or whatever you can add a lot more reflex, but bamboo and yew, natural material, just can't take that sort of strain. You've got to sacrifice something. The other thing is, of course, once I've got the limbs, I can always adjust their angle slightly by how they're mounted in the riser. So I've drawn out my curve onto an old offcut of kitchen worktop that I had lying around, and you can see how it compares with, that was the less curved limb, so it's quite similar to that with a little bit more belly to it, a bit more reflex, and compare it to this one, again more reflex. And if we come out to here, that's a sort of similar amount of reflex. So I haven't been too drastic in what I've changed. Of course, this looks peculiar as well compared to something like an Olympic recurve, because with an Olympic recurve or modern glass limb, the deflex is in the visor. So with this you have to bear in mind that the limb itself is starting here, not here. Now I'm heat treating the limb and bending it down onto my former at the same time. There it is with both clamps on, and you can see it's pretty well clamped down, and you can see the change in the colour of the wood. And here I'm using the weight of a brick to pull down the reflex. It just supplies a nice gentle even pressure while I heat the limb. and then I can clamp it down. It's got it bent to the former, and I dare say when I unclamp it, it will spring back a bit. And it's not fully heat treated, but there's a bit of colour on it. Tiny little bit of cracking opened up there, but of course when the limb's narrowed, that will disappear anyway. I think that's a good first stage. Now we'll see how that one goes. I might let it cool down, then just clamp it back up at a couple of points and try and complete the heat treating, but I'm in no rush. The weather's been manky, I've had a stinking cold, so slow and steady, keep tinkering away at it. Right, let's take the clamps off and see how it looks. No, don't spring back too far. Right, springing back a bit more. Yes, a bit of springage there. Looks a bit sort of flat there. I think the shape of the former's not perfect, but I can always adjust that. That's not bad, is it? Compare that with that limb. And it's got a bit more deflex like I wanted. And perhaps get a bit more reflex. Looks a bit flat here. I took a whisker off the former just to smooth that curve, clamped it up and gave it some more heat treating. And we'll take the clamp off, see how much it bounces back now. Boing. Yeah, still a little bit of bounce back. A little bit more deflex. That's comparing it with the most curved of the original limbs. And I suppose it's fairly similar to that one. Just a hint more deflex should take some stress off it and mean it can pull back a little further or be a little thicker and heavier draw weight. What I'll do is I'll probably make it ½ inch longer, and then I can always shorten it if needs be. That's about it for now.